Well, it's been a long time since I've done a video like this, but considering everything that's happening in the Halo community these days, I feel like it's long overdue. A while back, I left, took a break, and tried to separate myself from the Halo community because not only have we been let down countless times by 343 Industries, not only has the franchise in its entirety been suffering over the past decade, but the community itself has become its own worst enemy. It's no secret that the Halo franchise in its entirety has been suffering since 343 Industries took the mantle of responsibility. Some may deny it, but when you look at the sales figures, the online population numbers, and pay close attention to just what installments have stirred up the most controversy, it becomes quite clear. You would think after all the shit that 343 has dragged the Halo brand through that people would be just a little more accepting of criticism towards them. But no, you would think, but you would be wrong. I don't know if it's due to 343 catering to a much younger demographic with their games, or the fact that a lot of the big influencers in the Halo community are corporate puppets, but for some ungodly reason, after all the shit 343 has done to the Halo brand, after all the deception, all the incompetence, there is still a big group of people who will leap to their defense whenever anybody is even the slightest bit critical towards them. So not only did the future of Halo seem bleak, but the hope I had for the community rising up and contributing to a better future for Halo was dashed. Not because I gave up on what I believed in, but because I was tired of being treated like the bad guy for simply caring and showing any concern for the future of one of my favorite franchises. It's one thing whenever the franchise is in bad hands, but to see the fans be so willing to bend the knee to 343 and turn on their own when others won't do the same is an all new level of depressing. Hell, even when I've streamed the PC flights for MCC in the past, my chat was saying I was asking too much from 343. I was baffled by the amount of goodwill being shown by the community as I point out problem after problem, bug after bug. To me, it feels like 343 has little to no respect for the community's intellect of quality, and these streams have proved that theory to be true, as it seemed no one was seeing the problems that me and my friends were seeing and pointing out one after another. These issues may be acceptable for console players who have already low standards of quality, but PC gamers are an entirely different demographic. They aren't going to stick around when the game fails to meet the most basic of expectations for PC releases, because they aren't longtime fans like we are who have grown numb to 343's incompetence. It's sad to see a franchise I've held dear for the majority of my life slowly fade from my interest, but 343 has done very little to keep my interest in Halo, and if the community that I believed in so much is willing to roll over and bow to a lackluster product, then why should I even try anymore? So I left and ignored a lot of things people showed me because I didn't care anymore. To say I've been apathetic in my responses to people asking my opinion on updates, news, and things going on in the community since then would be an understatement. I was done fighting for a community that didn't have any respect for itself, and I was ready to move on with my other passions and other projects. So why the hell am I back making a Halo video? Well, a few days ago, we got a list of known issues / bugs that will be in Halo 2 Anniversary when it launches on PC, and a lot of people in the community are playing it off as just minor issues, when some of these are quite damning. For example, 1. Bullet registration is not in parity with the original. 2. Gamma values are excessively blown out compared to Legacy. 3. The sun is not rendering in most maps and missions. And 4, when playing at a higher field of view, textures will appear to pop in more frequently as LOD distances are shortened, just to name a few. When I saw how many bugs, glitches, and problems that would be in the game at launch, I knew I had to speak out about this. And to my surprise, I was not alone. Many in the Halo community were in agreement with me when I put out this tweet asking, So tell me, Halo community, is it really okay for Halo 2/H2A to be launching on PC with this many fucking issues? Please state your case, because this is not acceptable. And to my surprise, that tweet received an amazing amount of support, with at time of recording 82 likes, 13 retweets, and 18 replies. The amount of people who spoke out against launching the game in this state was a shock to me. After months of feeling alienated from the community for my takes on the state of Halo and the MCC PC ports, I honestly could not believe this was the same community. It felt like back in 2015 whenever I first started criticizing 343 heavily after the disappointing launch of Halo 5. I had tons of content creators and other members of the community who were also unhappy with the direction that 343 was taking Halo. This felt similar, but something was different. A lot of these content creators who have huge platforms decided that it wasn't a big deal and decided to play the role of fence sitter or defending 343's actions. This becomes extremely frustrating because a lot of these guys have huge platforms where they could really make change happen, but they refuse. It seems like a lot of them have left the Halo community, which is perfectly fine. I don't blame them, but a number of them just seem to want to cuck to 343 and give them lighter criticism for a chance to grow their channels faster. Now, I will say I am happy that a few content creators with the platforms they have decided to spread awareness about this issue, including Rony Boney, who we have not seen for quite some time, and he made a great video going over the entire list, which I will have a link to his video in the top right corner right about now. Another content creator who spoke out kind of was Late Night Gaming, who made a great tweet talking about the issue and included the fact that Halo Reach and CA are still buggy messes. But then he decided to delete the tweet. Now, I wanted to say this directly to Late Night, and I've tried on Twitter, but you should not have deleted this tweet. Now, you may have deleted it after Postum's clarification, but your point still stands about Reach and CA's known issues and bugs. I mean, look at this list here. It's been 2 months since CA launched with major issues like Xbox performance, and if you play CA on an uncapped frame rate, then your pistol spreads uncontrollably, something they should have patched much sooner, but instead have waited for this release of Halo 2 to fix. Think about that, 2 months of consistent frame rate drops. So what will break with this release? Look, I'm not here to tell you to not play Halo 2 on PC when it comes out on Tuesday, but I'm here to say that allowing games to be released like this is a slippery slope for the entire industry. The more we normalize games coming out in this state, the worse the hobby, series, or industry we love will get. I do, however, want to give a round of applause, a pat on the back, or whatever you want to say to the Halo community members, big or small, that spoke out about this. You are the reason why I keep coming back. You are the reason why I kind of hope that this platform will continue to grow for the betterment of Halo. Before we finish up today's video, I just want to say one last thing. Halo Infinite is right around the corner, with us getting our first glimpse of gameplay next month on the 20th. That 343 leaves you with less than half a year to get started with flighting and testing for bug fixes. The longer you take, the worse I feel Halo Infinite is going to be, and trust me, I will be watching and critiquing every little thing I see. Oh, and before I forget, this is just something that the community's been talking about and I need to get off my chest. For God's sake, get some marketing done. Remember how I mentioned that 343 seemed to be aiming for a different demographic? Well, if I see one more fucking toy leak before actual marketing campaign, I'm gonna start thinking that Halo Infinite is gonna be rated E for everyone. Frag